Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. How we sounding? We sounding good in the chat? Let me know, let me know. Yo, yo, yo! Yeah. Hold on. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to the stream. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man. Wherever you are, you can tune into the stream. You know what I'm saying? You could be, you know, I know it's late, but you could still be going to work, you know, dropping your kids off at your grandmother's, at your sister, at daycare. Who knows, right? Whatever you're doing. You're going to the gym, you're doing Uber, you're out there, you know what I'm saying, protesting against ICE. Whatever you're doing, you could be tuning into the show. You know what I'm saying? You could be tuning into the show, because man, we got a show for you guys today, right? We got a crazy show for you guys today. I mean, you might like the title, I can't teach you anything but point the way, right? You can't teach a man anything. Right? You're out there, want to feel like a good person, want to show that you care, that you have love, you know. You're out there protesting and infringing on ICE. Trying to do their job, right? They're trying to get rid of the illegal aliens and you know, clean up the state or the community that you're in, and get rid of all the crime rate, the illegals that don't belong in the country. So you could be doing that. You can still be listening to the show, man. You could be out there trying to catch what is it, a shell shell grenade. What is it called? I don't even remember what that thing is called. You know, but you know, they shot it, a smoke grenade or whatever, right? They shoot it and then you try to pick it up and then it probably blows your finger off or something. Listen, you could be doing anything that you're doing. You could be tuning into the show, right? And we got a show for you today, right? So, you guys have probably heard the news about Alex Pratt, whatever his name is, right? Alex Pratt, Pretty, Alex Pretty. Oh, just pull up the thing. Alex Pretty, right? Could be out there, you know, have your job, left your job because you want to go and fight ICE, right? because you were told so by the media, you were told so by your mayor, by your governor. Stand up for ICE, stand up to ICE, stand up for your neighbor, stand up for whoever, right? And what they're not telling you is that these people broke the law, right? These people broke the law, and ICE is doing their job. They're doing their job, so you don't have to pay for these people healthcare and overpay tax, and they're using your tax for all type of different sort of crazy things. That tax money could be in your pocket, so you could buy yourself a better house. You could stay home, and your husband or your man can save more of his money, and you don't have to work, right? You don't have to work because you'll be able to live off one income, so the female doesn't have to go to work. But they probably still want to go to work, and the husband is so weak, he married a woman that hates him, right? All this crazy thing that's happening in the world, right? All of that, right? But guess what? We're about to tap in. So no more talking, no more introduction. Let's jump in. And her first clip, right? Her first clip come from NBC News. Minneapolis on the edge after second fatal shooting involving federal officer, right? That's what we're dealing with. So we're about to pull it up, take a look at it, see what's going on in Minneapolis. To be more frank, in Minnesota, right? Because we have premium. We're about to turn up premium, man. What the? Right? So, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for what's happening? All right, let's check it out. Oh.
Come on! Come on!
Tonight, tensions flaring.
It is our duty, it is our right!
Crowds back out on the streets in Minneapolis, demanding answers after 37-year-old Alex Preddy was shot and killed by a federal agent Saturday morning. The shooting itself captured by several witnesses. Federal officials say Preddy approached Border Patrol agents armed with this semi-automatic handgun and violently resisted attempts to disarm him. The agents, according to DHS, were conducting a targeted operation.
We can't have individuals that are impeding law enforcement operations and then showing up with guns and weapons and no ID and confronting law enforcement like that.
State and city leaders say what they've seen doesn't match the account. This latest incident coming 2.5 weeks after the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
This is an inflection point, America. So my question is, what's the plan, Donald Trump? What is the plan?
Sisters Andrea and Stacy Saros arrived at the scene immediately after the shooting. What is it that makes you emotional?
Because why? This is not necessary. Leave. I don't know these people sleep at night.
And in a lawsuit filed
She's
in the
crying,
U.S.
bro.
Court against DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and other Department of Homeland Security officials, a pediatrician filed a sworn affidavit declaring that instead of administering CPR to Preddy, the agents appeared to be counting his bullet wounds. DHS did not reply to our request for comment Sunday, but has said medics immediately tended to Preddy. His family says he was an ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis, remembering him as a kind-hearted soul and a good man.
He cared about people deeply, and he was very upset with what was happening in Minneapolis.
We love this country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
Preddy's parents rejecting the administration's claim their son was a threat, as calls grow louder for federal officers to leave the city.
Camila joins us now from that memorial in Minneapolis. And Camila, it appears DHS is taking the lead on this investigation, right?
Yeah, Hallie, and it is unusual. We now know that DHS is taking the lead with assistance from the FBI and DOJ, according to two sources familiar with this. But because this agent was part of Customs and Border Protection, which is DHS, normally the FBI would be leading a case like this. Hallie?
We thank you for watching.
Listen, man. What can I say, right? you're out there, right, to feel good about yourself. And listen, the parents said, oh, he felt bad about what was happening to people, felt bad about the situation. Let's go back so you can really hear what's really going on with this guy, right? He cared about people. Did he really? Does he really care about people though? That's the question. Does he? Right? Right? Let's hear this.
His family says he was an ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis. Remember?
So from what I can understand, right, this guy left his job a couple of days ago to prepare for these things, allegedly, according to report, right?
Referring him as a kind-hearted soul and a good man.
Kind-hearted soul and a good man, right? Right?
Cared about people deeply, and he was very upset with what was happening.
So you care about people deeply. He's very upset what's going on in Minneapolis, right?
In Minneapolis.
He loved this country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
Preddy's.
That's crazy, right? And I can see why his mother and father think he was a good person, right? I can see why, because his mother and father are just he's just like his mother and father, right? Would a good person go and impeach and stop federal officers from doing their job, right? Would a good person actually do that? I'll let you guys answer that question for yourself, right? Would a good person go there and you're going, let's say you're going to protest against ICE and you're going there to show that you care about people. He brought a gun to hurt another person. How is that caring about people? You care about people deeply, but yet you care about one person, but yet you're willing to hurt another person. It just doesn't make sense. How does that make sense? But yet you're loving, kind, you love helping people, and you care about people. It just doesn't make sense, right? Because if you care about one or love one, you love all. But he's here, right? Brought his gun to a protest, to a ICE enforcement law, because they're out here, they're out getting these illegal or getting these people, right, that shouldn't be in the country, that was here, that came in illegally. You cross the border, you commit a crime, you're here illegally, right? DHS, ICE is out here doing their job, and this man that care about people, he's out here with gun. I don't know why you bring a gun to a protest. I told you guys, if you're a leftist and you're going to protest against ICE, don't stop them from doing their job. Keep your distance, protest, whatever you want to do, right? But you have to remember that you're going in an hostile environment where anything can happen. Anything can happen, right? Like this guy, he brought a gun. Why are you bringing a gun to a protest? Makes no sense to me. But if you don't love your life, or if you don't want to live, right? You don't want to live, because check this out. I mean, he's living here, but he's actually dying, right? He's actually dying. I'm not talking about the shot that the gunshot bullets that's gonna kill him, but he's here as a person. He's talking and he's breathing, right? He's breathing, but he's dead. He's unconscious, and evil is driving him because he judged the situation, feel bad for these illegal aliens, and because he feel bad for them, he wants to help to make himself feel good and he's here to help them so he can feel good about himself, right? To make himself look good, right? All for the thrill of it. Also, he can feel good about himself, which is ridiculous, right? So not only did he judge the illegal aliens that are here illegally, right? He judged ICE and said, ICE, they're bad people. I need to go out there and protect these people that ICE are bringing up, these illegal aliens. So he listened to his governor, he listened to his mayor, and I mean, you shouldn't be letting someone else's evil control you and tell you what to do, to go put your life on the line, right? To put your life on the line, so they can use you to get vote and to keep the illegal aliens in that state, so they can get the vote to stay in power. The people that got this guy, the governor Tim, and Jacob Fry, the mayor, they control this guy, which an evil. I mean, you're unconscious, of course, your emotions are ruling over you, right? So they use these people, the bigger devil, right? The bigger devil that is in power, that's governor, right? Use these people emotions to manipulate and control them. And they went out there thinking that they're a good person, thinking that they're doing good, thinking that, you know, I love the country, I love these people, I'm gonna go out there and protest and protect them. When really, you went out there and give your life away for what cause? What cause? Because ICE is doing their job and you want to stop them from doing their job, and you bring your gun just in case. Bro, why you... Listen, I don't know why you would want to bring a gun, but I understand that you're lost and you're unconscious and your thoughts are driving you, and it has everything to do with your feelings. And his mother and father, they raised him and he become just like them. So I can see why they think he's a good person, but there's nothing good about him. It's pure evil driving this guy, because he's judgmental, and because he's so judgmental, he judges the situation without having a way to see what's really happening. He judged the situation, and he went and gave his life away that he could have lived. That emotional, judgmental feelings, the life was given to him for him to overcome it. But guess what? He didn't want to overcome it. He loves his health. He loves how it makes him feel. And he's just stuck in a cycle of feeling bad, do things to feel good. When you feel good, you do things to make you feel bad. Stuck in a roller coaster situation. And this is with everyone. It's just like being in a relationship, right? And, you know, I'm not saying he deserved what he... I mean, does he deserve what he get? I mean, he put himself in a sticky situation, right? But we wish him well. We wish him well, right? And may the will of God covers him, right? And then, man, and then this is from Fox 9, right? Minneapolis Jacob Frey speak on Border Patrol shooting. So, this is your mayor, right? The mayor of Minneapolis. And these are the words he has to say to his people. I mean, you can... I don't know if majority of them is his people, but, you know, to the people that he controls, this is what he had to say, right? We're going to play that clip in a little bit. I know I got some stuff. Oh, there they are. 2 hours ago. Okay. Right? He's saying, listen. Let's hear what he has to say.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end? How many more lives need to be lost before this administration realizes that a political and partisan narrative is not as important as American values?
This guy is crazy, right? This guy is crazy, bro. He's crazy because everything they do is political. Everything they do is for their own interests. He doesn't care about Minneapolis city citizens or American citizens. He doesn't care. He's just here putting on a showcase personality so you can judge him. And oh yes, he said some good stuff. When Mr. Trump, Mr. President, when are you gonna take away ICE out of Minnesota or Minneapolis? We don't need this anymore, right? But you know the funniest thing, Trump wouldn't have to send in ICE at all if you guys didn't have this sanctuary city where you harbor illegal aliens. This wouldn't be a problem, right? So was this guy in power when Biden was in power and when President Obama was in power? Where's the law? Were you guys, if you guys were upholding the law, this wouldn't be an issue today, right? But let's continue.
How many times must local and national leaders must plead with you, Donald Trump, to end this operation and recognize that this is not creating safety in our city? As you'll hear from Director Sayer in just a second, we have seen these kinds of operations in other places, in other countries, but not here in America. Not in a way where a great American city is being invaded by its own federal government. I'm done being told that our community members are responsible for the vitriol in our streets.
Bro, who loves this guy, bro? Who loves this guy, right? Who loves this guy? Instead of telling the citizen, listen, ICE is doing your job, stay away, because listen, we harbor illegal aliens and they're taking your tax dollars and we're using it to feed them and take care of them while Americans suffer for it. But he's still out here weaponizing white people to go out there and put their lives on the line, right? So he can seem like the good guy when they harboring these people, and then yet they're telling you, listen, ICE is bad. They're in our city. They're in our community, terrorizing the people. You guys need to, protest, and we're not gonna back down. A bunch of stuff that they say previously, right? Crazy.
I'm done being told that our local elected officials are solely responsible for turning down the temperature. Just yesterday, we saw 15,000 people peacefully protesting in the streets, speaking out, standing up for their neighbors. Not a single...
I mean, you can protest, but not when ICE is doing their job on a site, bro. And when ICE is doing an operation, right? Schedule your protest and go do it. No one's gonna stop you. And don't bring a gun to a protest, okay? Don't do it. You're putting yourself at risk. It's like saying, listen, I'm going to a bank and I'm gonna rob it, but you should let me rob the bank, right? Even though I'm committing a crime. I also have a gun, right? It's ridiculous.
Single broken window, not a single injury. Those peaceful protests embody the very principles that both Minneapolis and America was founded upon. Conversely, the mass militarized force and unidentified agents who are occupying our streets, that is what weakens our country. That is what erodes trust in both law enforcement and in democracy itself. So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis.
Same message
for America.
Same message, bro. These people are killing you. These people are literally killing you, and you're willing to let them kill you, right? You're willing to let them kill you. And is he not the same one saying we 700 troops that we have, police officers, something allegedly, something along those line of troop? He was saying in the previous video. Listen, we might have the police officer fight ICE. And this guy was there, and he was like, his eyebrow was like, whoa, what the, right? I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again. To make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about. This is not a partisan issue. This is an American issue. This administration and everyone involved in this operation should be reflecting. They should be reflecting right now and asking themselves, what exactly are you accomplishing?
Yes, exactly. People that are protesting, what exactly are you looking to accomplish? I want to know, what are you looking to accomplish? That's a good question, actually. I mean, I know he's asking the people that are on ICE side, but we should ask the other side. What are you looking to accomplish? What? Stop ICE from deporting illegal aliens? So this guy Jacob Frey can get the votes and stay in power, and what? Keep funding your taxpayer money to welfare program and to have the Somalian rob up the money that you Americans go to work so hard for, trying to build this country, to keep this country strong for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren to prosper. He's taking that away, actually, when he's saying, look at what they're doing to children. Something along those lines, bro, right? Look at what they're doing to children. If this were your children, how would you feel about it? He's manipulating you. He's manipulating you 100%. He wants you to feel and judge and feel bad. And that's evil. That is evil.
The goal was to achieve peace and safety. This is doing exactly the opposite. If the goal was to achieve calm and prosperity, this is doing exactly the opposite.
I mean, of course, they're a storm before the calm, right?
Are you standing up for American families right now? Or are we tearing them apart? The invasion of these heavily armed masked agents roaming around on our streets of Minneapolis, emboldened with a sense of impunity, it has to end. This is not how it has to be.
Look at this guy, man. That's kind of funny.
So, to President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader. Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back. Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents. Director.
Please remove these federal agents, right? We don't want you to deport the illegal aliens that we're harboring, right? We don't want ICE to do their job, because who's gonna give us vote at the end of these terms, right? I need to still stay in power, right? Remove ICE agents. What a mess. That is a mess, right? Think about the American people. I think Trump is actually thinking about the American people when he's doing these getting the states cleaned up, right? That's actually thinking about American people. But do American people love themselves, especially the white people? Do they love themselves enough to let Trump and ICE do their job of cleaning up the street, making it safe for your children, your great-grandchildren, your grandchildren, to be able to buy a home or prosper in the future, right? That's his job, to govern the country, right? To enforce the law of the land that these nincompoop didn't do for how many years, bro? How many years they didn't do it? and now the hammer's coming down hard, these people think Trump is a tyrant when there was no law of the land for so long, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's the type of situation we're running in now, because people want to feel good, right? And it's so selfish because they don't care about the illegal aliens. They don't care. They don't want him to. They don't want him to work and to make money and help America grow. No, they want these people still take their tax dollars and just bleed America dry, right? Bleed America dry, so they can feel good about themselves. Say, oh, we did something great, when the country's gonna be not great at the end, right? But listen, no, we want them here. We feel bad for them. We feel sorry for them, and that same feeling sorry is the same reason that we're in this situation. Same reason. And now another video we have coming up. This is from Fox 13. Crowd remember Alex, right? Man killed by ICE, right? And we're gonna have to skip a little bit. It says, I have some notes here. A little bit sick. 1 minute 39 seconds, right? Here we go. So this is the crowd remembering Alex, right? Let's see how the crowd remember Alex. Why not? Alright, here we go. Top in.
Following the shooting, protesters could be heard screaming profanities and calling for ICE to get out of the city. This adding to the nationwide protests that have erupted since Renee Good was fatally shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis earlier this month.
7 years old, angry.
Minnesota officials are calling for an immediate end to ICE operations in the state.
I woke up this morning and I saw the news about what happened to Alex, and I found it revolting. I just very frustrated. I felt very helpless, like I couldn't do anything about what's happening to our nation. So I've been trying to organize and do what I can to try to make some change, and then I saw this was happening, and I was like, well, that's where I gotta be.
Reaction is pouring in here in Seattle and across the country to the Minneapolis.
Wait, what did this guy really just say, bro?
Is pouring in here in Seattle and across the country.
Are you guys really listening to what this guy just said, bro? Listen again. I don't think you guys heard.
And I saw the news about what happened to Alex, and I found it revolting. I just
revolting.
Very frustrated. I felt very helpless, like I couldn't do anything about what's happening to our nation. So I've been trying to organize and do what I can to try to make some change, and then I saw this was happening, and I was like, well, that's where I gotta be.
But he can't even help himself change, but he's trying to help change. You know, it's revolting, it's frustrating. All he's telling me that he was judging the situation, right? And he went into thoughts, and the devil told him, listen, go and organize with these people. Same like Renee, same like Alex, right? They saw what was happening, they felt bad, and by feeling bad, you're judging the situation. You're in your emotions, and now the devil have you doing his duties. The devil have you doing wicked. The evil that is inside of you, right? The evil that is within you, you're projected it onto the earth, right? This is pure evil, pure diabolical evil. But let's continue.
Reaction is pouring in here in Seattle and across the country to the Minneapolis shooting. Alex Preddy is the second U.S. citizen to be shot and killed by ICE agents this month. Tonight, hundreds packed downtown Seattle to call for an end to ICE operations in Minneapolis.
I just want to say solidarity with what's happening in Minneapolis, and a huge shout out to the union organizers and educators. I'm an educator in Minneapolis.
He's an educator. No wonder.
Who yesterday shut the whole city down to protest what was happening with ICE. I think it's remarkable, and know that Seattle stands with you.
Bro, these are the people that are educating the people, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is insane.
Our crews say the vigil remained peaceful, with protesters holding signs and chanting slogans opposing ICE and the White House's continuing immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson also releasing a statement on the latest ICE shooting, saying she was horrified to hear about the incident and is mourning for the victims' loved ones tonight. She's also encouraging everyone to connect with neighbors to monitor possible ICE activity here in Seattle, and that she'll address how the city will be responding to any ICE activity in the coming days.
That's crazy that now they want to, I mean, they have an effort. They want to monitor ICE agent activities. How dumb, listen how dumb that is, bro. And then when they get caught up in this situation, they want to blame ICE. When you put yourself in there, you put yourself in front of them to block them from doing their job. And when see, this is the evil inside of them, right? The evil is telling them, go do this, go do that, and they go and do it. And then when they get in a crossfire, they blame ICE for it. When leave ICE, let ICE do his job and stay out of their way. But you, American citizen, I don't know why you hate your country. Why? I mean, I know why, but I'm asking you so you can take a step back and think, like, why am I even out here protesting to keep illegal aliens in the country? Do you even love your country at that point? I want you to go to another country and go there illegally and see what happened. Do that, buddy. Why don't you do that? But yet you're out here protecting illegal aliens in your own country that is feeding off of your tax dollars that could put to good use, right? It's interesting. It's interesting. I will say that.
Governor Bob Ferguson weighed in to say his thoughts and prayers are with Alex Preddy's family and loved ones, that Preddy performed emotionally demanding work, caring for critically ill veterans. The statement goes on to say that Preddy's colleagues and former patients describe a person who was kind, funny, and deeply caring, end quote.
There's nothing kind about Alex. I'm just being real, bro. There's nothing kind about the guy, bro. He doesn't care, because if he cares, he would let ICE do his job, do their job. And they're like, oh, Freddy cares about people, but yet he brought a gun to shoot ICE officers and stop them from doing their job. Yet you care about one person, but yet you're willing to hurt another person. How do you care about anyone? You don't care about anyone? Don't buy that. That's not true. Right? That's not true.
He thought it was.
So we have a clip coming up. I think I played something similar earlier, but this is, I'm pretty sure I played this. I didn't realize that it was gonna be in one of those other clips. But this is his dad and mom, I think, or friend. You know, they're saying Alex was a good person. He cared. You know. But he left, and from what I allegedly, right, from report, couple weeks, you know, he talked to his parents about he's gonna go and protest, and they're saying, listen, don't do anything dumb, and yet he went and did something dumb, right? And even if you're going to protest, why are you gonna bring a gun? It makes no sense.
He thought it was terrible. kidnapping children, just grabbing people off the street. He knew it was
kidnapping children. Buddy, you're illegally kidnapping children. That's kind of crazy.
He thought it was terrible. Kidnapping children, just grabbing people off the street. He knew it was wrong, so he did participate in protests.
He loved this country, but he hated what people were doing to it.
He was an ICU nurse, and this morning his family saying they're heartbroken, but also very angry, adding he was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends. Their statement then goes on to say that he is clearly not holding a gun. He has his phone in his right hand, and his empty left hand is raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed, they added.
We had this discussion with him 2 weeks ago or so, that go ahead and protest, but do not engage, do not do anything stupid, basically.
He wouldn't.
And he said he knows that. He knew that.
Obviously, he lied. And it's not entirely his fault, right? Because listen, when you can test this for yourself. When someone piss you off, well, no one can piss you off actually, but for communication purposes, let's say someone piss you off, right? Now you feel the need to defend yourself, right? And I'm not saying he should defend himself against ICE agent, because these are police officers. There's a way to deal with police officers. You take them to court and you get it solved civilly than being hostile against them and trying to take it up on your own hands. Because especially if you pull a gun on them or you have a gun in them and you're violent towards them, they should protect themselves, right? So I'm saying, right? I forgot what point I was going to make on this actually. I kind of deviated because I wanted to clear something up real well, right? But he said he's going to go to the protest and he's not going to do anything dumb. But when you're heated, right, and you judge a person for how they treat you or how they disrespect you, you feel the need to defend yourself. And there's really no self to defend. You're just in your thoughts judging the person, and because the person is making you feel bad when really you're blaming them for how they made you feel. But the feeling is because you're in your mind and you're judging, and evil is controlling you. And now you feel a need to defend the self, which is the devil, which is evil. And he gives you these thoughts in your emotions, and now you fire back, defend yourself. And then when you go home, you fight with your wife or whoever you fight with, you reflect on the situation and you just look dumb. You're like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I, whatever your mind is telling you, you still, what's the word? Consulting with the devil. You're still in your thoughts. You're still in your imagination. And he's telling you, next time, do it this way. You don't know what's going to happen next time. And even when you think it's going to happen this way next time, nothing you plan ever happens how you plan it. Right? And that's how the devil gets you. The devil tells you this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Never happens. Never ever happens how you think it in your head, how you think it should go. But you're also blaming that person for how they made you feel, when really they have nothing to do with how you feel. You're just judgmental and you're one with evil. And because you're one with evil, evil tells you what to do. And you made the devil your God. The devil is your God. That's what he is, right? You think you're doing the will of God, or you're saving people. God doesn't even care about saving people. He doesn't even care, right? I mean, he loves you. The care that you're thinking about, he made a way for you already. So you're just sitting back and let you do what you want to do. Well, you're not really doing it. It's not even you doing it, right? You're just lost control, and evil has you. Evil owns you. And you can protest to this by taking a step back, being conscious, being aware of when people make you angry, how you will lash out at them, right? and you just look dumb. You're dumb, right? And because you're dumb, you do dumb stuff. The devil let you do dumb stuff, and here you are today. You could have lived. You could have actually lived. You could actually die and live. Not the debt that you're thinking about, but the debt that Christ did for us, and not the debt on the cross. Because that's people think, oh, Christ died on the cross for us. No, that's not what Christ came here to show us, right? But a lot of people think that, right? But whatever. So what? So you know the Border Patrol commander, right? Gregory. Gregory. Border Patrol. I guess they didn't like what was happening in Minneapolis, right? And now they're taking away his what do you call it, status as commander in chief of ICE agents, right? Of ICE agents. And let's tap in and hear what happened with that, right?
Also breaking to.
Let's tap in. I remember a couple of videos ago, I did a stream about this fat guy. It's like, we're done protesting peacefully. If you're gonna go to a protest, bring guns. And I'm like, that's not a good idea. Look at where we are today. He gave up his life when he could have actually lived, right? But here.
Also breaking tonight, Greg Bovino has been removed from his role as Border Patrol Commander at Large. That's according to The Atlantic, citing 3 sources, including an official with the Department of Homeland Security. The Atlantic reports Bovino will return to his former job in California and is expected to retire soon. CNN reports DHS has suspended Bovino's access to his social media accounts. The administration, however, is publicly denying the reports. Bovino has caused controversy in Minneapolis and Chicago for his aggressive tactics.
Did he cause controversy though? And wait, what was the other word? Controversy and what?
In Chicago for his aggressive tactics.
Controversy and aggressive tactics. Did he cause that actually?
This also creates a position for the Trump administration to fill in Minneapolis.
Listen, did he actually cause all of that? How? I don't know how he caused all of that, right? ICE is there to do their job. The citizens and the illegal aliens have this hatred and evil inside of them, right? Because the citizens, oh, you're kidnapping your neighbors, you're kidnapping children. Oh, we feel bad for the children. Listen, you don't even care about the children. You know how I know you don't care about children? You know how I know? You want to really know how I know they don't care about children? They pass laws to have people, these kids, become LGBT, transsexual, and cut off their body, implant this, implant that. How do you care about children? I don't get it. I don't get it. How? And if you care about these children, right, you would allow ICE to do their job, because these children and the parents knew that when they cross the border, there's a chance they might get caught. And even if you're living in the country, there's a chance you might get caught and sent back to your country. So really, they knew what they were doing, and they knew the consequences of their actions. It's like saying, listen, I'm gonna go rob a bank with a gun and I might get away. But if I get caught, I know the consequences. But if I get away, later on in life, they might find me. It's like that situation, right? Well, no, buddy, you got fined. They fined you. You have kids. Because you crossed the border illegally. Your kids are illegal. They're going to get shipped back with you. Why should I feel bad for you? Why? Why should I feel bad for you when you did something bad and you're expecting a good outcome? You did it wrong in the first place, and now you're expecting a good outcome. It just doesn't make sense, right? I guess common sense ain't so common anymore. And I'm black and slow. So if you're white, something is wrong with you, man. What the? Something is wrong, bro. If I can understand that. But I wish you well, man. And I think we all have been there, because we all, we all need to forgive and stop judging. And that's the problem. The judgment is the problem. Right? You're trying to play God. God doesn't even judge. That's the funny thing about it, right? God doesn't even judge. But yet the Christians tell you, you sin every day, you need to repent, da-da-da. Even the Christian themselves judge. That's kind of crazy, right? That's crazy. The Christians are one of the biggest, how can I put this? At some point, I'm thinking that Christianity is good for society, but yet it's still bad for society because it keeps you trapped, right? It keeps you trapped because the pastors are not from God. They're from evil. So if they're actually good preachers, and beware of this word that I'm using, good, because no man is good. God is the only thing that's good, right? God is the only thing that is good. No man, no woman is good. Right? So, let's hear, Border Patrol Commander George or Gregory, to leave Minneapolis after a deadly shooting involved federal agent, right? Let's hear what's popping up.
We are learning.
Because this is a big story, right? They're twisting it in many ways.
Some Border Patrol commanders and federal agents are packing to leave up Minneapolis.
As Bradley Blackburn reports, this comes after 2 Americans were shot and killed by federal agents there in less than 3 weeks.
Protesters gathered outside of a Minnesota hotel overnight where they believe U.S. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino may be staying. Sources...
Bro, aren't these people trespassing, bro? That's wild.
Tell CBS News Bovino and some of his agents will leave Minneapolis as soon as today. Another source says Bovino has been relieved of his command. It comes 3 days after a federal agent shot and killed 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy. Bovino strongly defended his agent Saturday.
This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
But multiple videos from the scene contradict his statements.
People are losing faith that the federal government can be capable of enforcing federal law.
Where was the police, bro? Where was the police? That's the problem. There was no police there to help the ICE agent. Not one server.
And doing it professionally and without widespread constitutional violations.
With growing backlash, President Trump now seems to be changing course. On social media, the president said he had good calls with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey Monday, announcing his border czar Tom Homan will now coordinate with state and local officials on the ground.
We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump to keep the American people safe.
Governor Walz's office said in a statement the president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota. Frey also says he'll continue to push for an end to ramped up federal immigration operations, and that he plans to discuss next steps with Homan today. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger is calling the fatal shooting of the Minnesota ICU.
Spanberger, bro. I'm not even going to listen to what this bitch has to say. They voted, is it Virginia? She's the mayor, governor of Virginia now? Bro, that's wild. That's where everything is going to crumble next. Just wait and see. But I want to go back to this guy a little bit. This guy made some comments that I want to re-listen.
Statements.
People are losing faith that the federal government can be capable of enforcing federal law. and doing it professionally and without widespread constitutional violations.
With
what? Am I tripping? I must be tripping, bro. Cause what is this guy even talking about, bro? Wasn't he the same one that? Yeah, he's the same guy that Jacob Frey was saying. Listen, we can have our police, go against ICE, and this guy was like, what?
People are losing faith.
They don't even have. I mean, they have faith. Whatever, That's why they're blind, because they have faith, right? They're blind.
The federal government can be capable of enforcing federal law and doing it professionally and without widespread constitutional violations.
With growing back...
What is he talking about?
President Trump now seems to be changing course. On social media, the president said he had good calls with Minnesota.
Listen, man. Trump is sending Tom Homan in there. It's about to get real up there. It's about to get real, right? And I think we have a better clip on this. Oh, this guy reported on what Trump said. And this comes from, this is what, CBS News. Trump says he's sending border Tom Homan to Minnesota. Right?
CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman is joining us now from the White House to talk more about this. So, Willie, you just heard, we referenced the fact that the president is sending Tom Homan to Minnesota. What else can you tell us?
Hey there, Vlad, and that is a significant change in this situation, and as tensions are brewing there on the ground in Minnesota in response to this latest shooting and the killing of Alex Preddy. Now, the president did speak exclusively with the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, and he said, we're reviewing everything, and he didn't directly answer when asked twice about whether the officer who shot Preddy had essentially done the right thing. We, of course, know that this president and other White House officials have blasted local officials, have blasted Democrats in particular, and called on them to cooperate with the federal government. In fact, the president did that over the weekend, also calling for Congress to pass legislation to ban so-called sanctuary cities. So this isn't in there quite yet, but certainly
ban sanctuary cities, right? This wouldn't be a problem if they didn't have these sanctuary cities, right?
Shift and change with the president sending his border czar, Tom Homan, to Minnesota to oversee the situation on the ground there. And we anticipate lots of questions for this White House. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, will hold a briefing today at 1 p.m.
And Willie James, we're also seeing the White House getting some pushback this weekend from Democrats, even some Republicans in the wake of this shooting. So what are you hearing on that front? And does this in any way sort of feel like a tipping point?
Yeah, essentially, Senate Democrats over the weekend essentially said they had enough. They are saying that they will not support that funding for the Department of Homeland Security for this fiscal year. I'll point out that billions have already been appropriated for DHS and ICE operations in the so-called One Big Beautiful bill. But there is...
Of course, they don't want to support it. It's going to clean the state up. It's going to clean it from state to state on a general thing. It's going to clean up the country. They don't want that. Where are they going to get their votes from, right?
Some response from both Democrats and Republicans. Take a listen to this.
I don't question the credibility of ICE. They're doing an incredibly hard job. Look, we are all just feel sorry about what happened in Minneapolis. And this has happened over and over again. I mean, I'm not just talking about regarding ICE. I mean, they've got some failed local leadership.
There's no need for this overwhelming show of force. I believe what we're seeing is an attempt to intimidate the American people. These people are acting outside the Constitution. They're ignoring our laws, and we just can't keep supporting that.
He's not going to say, listen, people broke the law and come into the country, and ICE is doing their job, but yet the citizens that hate the country, they hate America, they're not grateful to the law. You should be grateful, right? That Trump is in office, because if it was anyone else, oh Lord, it would be bad, right? It would be bad. None of this would probably be happening, right? They will still stealing money. They'll still be funneling illegal aliens in. You still be a sanctuary city. If this wasn't a if the law of the land was being upheld, none of this would be a problem. None of this, right? What is this? Oh, none of this would be a problem. Christianity is a fake religion because it's a religion before Europe got a hold of the doctrine. It was just God and man. I mean, how are they doing it, right? How are they doing it? I mean, I don't really know the tactics and what's happening in the background of how they set up their operation, but I don't think anything is wrong with their operation more than people. People are just bored. They have nothing to do at home, and evil controls them, and evil tell them, go and protect illegal aliens that your tax dollars are funding. It's ridiculous, right?
And Senator Angus King there, of course.
And I can't agree with you when you say, listen, Christianity is a man-made religion. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Man want to be worshipped. Men want to be God. Men want to be seen. And they do it to be seen. They do it for the recognition. That's why they do it. They're not doing it because God, show them the way. Which, I mean, God sent his one and only son to show us the way. And that's all we need. Everything is done. But people are lost. They're so lost, and some are still lost to the devil. I can tell you that.
From Maine, who caucuses with the Democrats, but I'll also point out some response from Republican Senator Cassidy, who said the events in Minneapolis are incredibly disturbing. The credibility of ICE and DHS are at stake. And I want to also point out some comments from Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina. He said there must be a thorough and impartial investigation into yesterday's Minneapolis shooting. Of course, we'll monitor the responses coming from Capitol Hill and the White House and bring you those updates as they come.
Of course, as Willie, you know, Tom Tillis is not running for office anymore, so he has become the easy go-to for criticism of the Trump administration. And yet, my guess, Willie, and you would know better than I, he seems to be he's the only sort of high-profile Republican. There have been some at the local level and in Congress, but we haven't seen another, for example, Republican senator as of yet.
Okay, I guess they're done reporting this guy, right? I mean, listen, man. Stay home and stay out of ICE way, okay? Let ICE do their job. Oh, I guess this just lined up perfectly, right? Trump says let ICE do their job. Let's pull this clip up.
I'm going to say that, and I could tell it from my...
Hold on. What am I jumping at? 48 minutes and 6 seconds, right? Yeah, 48 minutes, 6 seconds. If I can get there. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is great. Oh, Obama is in this clip too. Shout out to the fallen Messiah, man. Obama.
Do their job. Watch this from CBS News. Former President Barack Obama called the latest fatal shooting by federal officers in Minneapolis a, quote, wake-up call for Americans. He also condemned ICE tactics in Minnesota. President Trump, however, is defending his administration's actions. CBS's Willie James Enman is following the latest tonight from the White House. Willie James.
Jerika, good evening to you. We did not see the president today, but he was active on social media, calling on Democratic governors and mayors to cooperate with the federal government. Earlier, he complained about efforts to stop his building of a big ballroom. In another post, he focused on what he called massive financial fraud in Minnesota. It was Saturday that he addressed this latest fatal shooting, writing, "Let our ICE patriots do their job." He also accused the mayor of Minneapolis and governor of Minnesota of inciting insurrection. The administration's immigration crackdown in Minnesota is now entering its 9th week.
I mean, they did insurrect. They did do that. You know, they're trying to get civil war going. It benefits them, right? It makes sense. That's not true. That's not true to say if America wasn't a melting pot, you wouldn't be allowed to be here. That's not true. That's not true because they're still taking immigrants in, just not illegal aliens. And because of this problem that we're having with illegal aliens and immigrants, I bet they're going to crack down on it way more. And people that are looking for opportunity to come here and work and build a life, because everyone wants to go to America, because we can see it's one of the greatest country on this side of heaven. Everyone wants to go to America. You cannot deny that, because it's a great country. But they want to come to America. They want to abuse it. They want to take and take and take and don't give back. And that will not help America, because they're taking from the American citizens, the immigrants that came here legally, that are working and want to make a better life for themselves, and they're helping to help America grow and expand, so they can make a way for, you know, the people, the newborn babies, the next generation, so the next generation can thrive. But that's not the case. We're not seeing that, because guess what? They don't love America. Not even the white people love their own country. Not even the blacks that live here love their country. They're willing to give it up, because everyone is an immigrant, so we should allow all illegal immigrants, and everyone is an immigrant. The white man came here, he was an immigrant, and he took it over. So anyone that wants to come, let them come. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. And listen, let's say, you know, the white man travel, discover this place. People already here, they say, the Indians smoking peyote, smoking pot. They weren't doing much with the land, but guess what? They got took over by the white people, and the white man created America with the blacks, right? If that's the case, and you know the white man came to this country, took it over from the Indians, and they created this country, isn't that a great example for you to realize, listen, the white man came, someone was here before the white man, right? Someone was here before the white man, right? And then the white man took it over. So wouldn't you learn as the one that took it over that, listen, you have to govern this country, because if you let it loose, people are going to invade you and take it over, just like what you did, right? I'm just saying, it makes sense. It makes sense, right? Why would you want to allow that? Why? Makes no sense to me, right? Makes no sense. Oh, so you're saying, look, you don't know Americans' education. they teach us in the first grade that America is a melting pot. So you're telling me you went to school, they brainwash you to think, yes, America is a multicultural place. It's a melting pot, so it's okay to keep melting the pot more. When are you gonna stop melting the pot until there's no pot to melt? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So you gotta. People need to snap out of that brainwashing, dumb stuff, right? And here we go. We have a clip from 2025, right? Flashback, they say 2025. Obama on illegal immigrants. Listen what Obama had to say, bro, in 2025, right? But guess what? Everyone loves Obama because he was the first black president. I don't know what Obama did for America. Nothing but create more division, right? More division. Perpetuate racism. Even today, his wife, Big Mama Michelle, bro. She was the first lady of America, and it's still not enough for her. It's still not enough for her because she's still out here hating on America, and she's telling Americans, listen, especially black Americans, listen, buy from your black business, buy from the black people that have business, right? She's not telling you go out there, support businesses, the best people that are giving you the best, service. Do that. No, she's creating another division, saying, listen, buy from your black counterpart. It makes no sense to me, right? I buy from whoever is giving me the best service. I buy from. If you have the product and it's good and you're giving me a good price, a good service, perfect. I'll buy your product. And I don't spend money a lot. I tend to save my money, right? But she's talking about Chanel's. Maybe I'll pull up that clip. Right? But this is Obama. I don't know why I'm ranting. This is Obama back in 2025. Let's hear what he has to say.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law.
Listen, white people. Come on, man. Come on. Isn't this the guy you guys voted for? You voted for Obama, even though he didn't do anything for the country. He didn't do anything, right? But he's telling you, they came here illegally. Right?
Illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law.
Why are you defending people that will break rules? If they break the rules to cross the border, imagine, and I don't want to imagine, they can't just imagine the other laws and rules they will break, right? People will change, but it's hard for people to change. It's very hard. People will say they work on themselves, they change, but really, no, they don't change, right?
They are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
There you have it. I rest my case. I rest my case, right? Rest my case. We can't have that going around, especially here in Canada. Canada is cooked. Canada is so cooked. I think they bought a bigger melting pot. That's how cooked Canada is, right? I mean, Billy, you can say, listen, you vote for them because they did nothing for you. That's not why you should vote. You shouldn't vote because you want them to do something for you. You should vote because That one guy, that one president and his administration is looking to better the entire country, not just for you, but for the entire people of the nation. That's how you should vote. And because people vote for what that person is going to do for them, they always vote in the wrong person. That's the problem. You know, when you vote for what someone can do for you, it's all about yourself. And it's all about the ego. That is the imagination, which is where the devil lies. You know, in the book of Genesis, God said to Adam and Eve, that tree of knowledge, good and evil, don't eat from it. They did it anyway. To this day today, people are still eating from that tree of knowledge of good and evil. And it's because people are eating from it. They think they know better and they know things. But really, the devil is telling you what you want to know. And the devil is telling you what to do. Right? Because that tree of knowledge is the mind. And the mind is a terrible thing to save. The mind telling you to do this, and then you do it, and then you end up, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done this, I feel bad now. The devil is so smart, it's amazing how smart the devil is. The devil set you up with good thoughts, tell you all of this thing is gonna come true, so you try to live up to it, or you try to do what he tells you to do because you're expecting an outcome. And when you don't get the outcome, you judge yourself, you feel bad, just so you can go back in that same cycle to do the same thing over and over. The devil hones people. The devil hones a lot. The devil hones you. It hones people. Right? Listen, I don't tend to look at history because history are written by evil people. So I don't even try to read history. I was infatuated with history at one point, but nah. History is a bunch of stuff to have you judge now. It's like you read the history so you can compare it to now and you judge now. And when you judge now, you can't see what is happening in front of you to see how to go about life because you're still comparing it to the past, right? I mean, you can reflect on it, of course, but if you're gonna read it just to judge now, it won't do people any good. And you know what's funny? That's what the Muslim do. That's what all the Muslims, pretty much that's what everyone does actually. But particularly the Muslims, they're like, oh, Israel did this to us. They bomb us, yes. They bomb us this time. And then we bomb them. They bomb us. We bomb them. We fight them. We kill them. We steal their people. They kill our people. It's like a never-ending war. And then you forgot why the war started in the first place. You forgot why the war started because you're so lost now. You're so lost in your emotions and to get back revenge, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Jesus said, you know, he said to his disciple one time, they're like, Jesus, no, don't go that way. Those people hate us. You know, they kill our people. We kill their people. Well, he said, they hate us because they kill our people or we kill their people. And Jesus said, listen. Yes, we kill their people. Something along those lines. I can't fully remember what exactly was said, right? But it's something along those lines saying, they hate us because we kill their people. And Jesus said, yes, but we kill their people too, right? And there will never be love and peace until we forgive each other and move past it. There will never be love. Because if you try to avoid it to say, oh, I'm just avoiding them so we can have the peace, there shall be no peace when you harbor hatred, right? Because hatred is judgment. And judgment is anger. Because it controls you, right? Don't try and so let's jump to this other clip. I went on a little rant there. So, Caroline, Trump's secretary or whatever, media person, right? I don't know her job. I really don't know her job, right? But she handled the press, right? I mean, I don't know how her husband deal with her at home, but I wouldn't marry. I would advise any man, any males out there, don't marry a woman that is like, I don't know her personally, but a woman with this kind of job title, it's not good to have kids with. It's not good. They should be at home taking care of their kids, bro. Right? A woman that wants the title of a man, it's weird to me. It's very weird to me, right? Because that says a lot. It does say a lot. Oh, where's the rest of the stuff? Sorry, guys. It run away from me. It ran away. Wait, what? What happened to the thing? I don't want to have it open here. Give me a second. Let me just grab it. I want to make sure it's showing properly on the screen. Complicated business, folks. Complicated business. Okay. Relax. So, like I was saying, man, I don't know how her husband deal with her, bro. I have no idea. Right?
All right, of course.
But it says Caroline destroy fake news reporter, just now reporter. The American have the right to film and protest ICE ops, right? First Amendment, yes, but no constitutional right to obstruct and impede lawful enforcement, right? Jesus said, if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. I don't know exactly what that means, because I probably have to read the entire verse to understand, but from what I know, when Jesus said he brought a sword, he brought, from what I remember, when he said, I brought a sword to cut, to cut. What he meant by that is that, he's here to divide. He's not here to have this mushy feelings and come together and togetherness and da. No, he came to divide mother from daughters from son, brother and sister from brother and sister, father from mother. No, he came to divide, and that's just it, right? Fathers will turn against sons, and sons will turn against father, because when you're walking in the light of Jesus Christ, because he's the way to the Father, when you're walking like that, people will hate you, like how Jesus came to show us the way, and they hated him for it. They hated him, especially people that are in power, right? Because they want to control the people. They don't want the people to be free, and that's a problem for them. So they killed Jesus for that reason.
But Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede and obstruct lawful immigration enforcement operations. That is actually a crime, and it's something that we've seen taking place in the streets of Minneapolis, which again is leading to these dangerous circumstances that these federal law enforcement officers have been forced to work within. Fran.
Caroline, is it the White House's position that Americans have the right to show up to these ICE operations and film, document, or protest the law enforcement actions?
All Americans have a First Amendment constitutional right, of course, but Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede and obstruct lawful immigration enforcement operations. That is actually a crime, and it's something that we've seen taking place.
Yeah, you should actually be thrown in jail. You're a terrorist at that point. You're literally a terrorist.
In the streets of Minneapolis, which again is leading to these dangerous circumstances that these federal law enforcement officers have been forced to work within. Fran.
Not only that, you're putting yourself in danger by impeding on the law and the law, right? You're actually putting the ICE agent in a bad situation, because the ICE agent, they can be there arresting someone, right? But you went and you try to stop them, and you give the criminal or the illegal alien, right, a second to off the cops. He'll probably off you too, because if they're willing to commit a crime and cross the border, you don't know what they're willing to do, right? And these are some of the problems we're having here in Canada too. It's so bad, the crime rate is so bad, it's ridiculous. People's houses are getting broken in, their cars are getting stolen. It's just crazy how bad it is here in Canada too, right? So listen, just let the people do their job, stay out of the way, right? Don't go stop them from doing their job, man. That's crazy. It's crazy, right? I don't have a title for this video, but I knew I wanted to react to it, but I didn't put a title for. Oh yeah, look at our boy, man. Tim or a boy. I want you guys to watch what's happening here with Tim, right? Tim is behind his mansion gate, reportedly, allegedly, right? Reported. This is a report coming in, right? Tim is behind his mansion gate. If he came to divide, I guess he's as bad as Obama. They said Obama divided this country. Yeah, but Obama used racism that doesn't exist. Racism doesn't exist, all right? Racism is a made-up thing to control and manipulate people, to get you to hate yourself and hate white people. That's what racism is for. Jesus didn't came preaching, oh, you're white, you're black, go to their black business. No. He preached, even though he came to divide, the way he preached, he brought people together, because you understand what he's saying. And it's when you understand, you will have that real love and peace, right? Because peace is within. And when peace is within, you're able to project peace onto the earth. But if you have no peace inside, you have evil, because there's only two entities. You're doing the will of God or the will of the devil, right? It's either one. And when you're doing the will of the devil, you project hate and all this craziness onto the earth, right? But this is a great example of what you just said. How you divide people. Watch what this guy said, right? He said, Tim was a few days ago was climbing on his gate of his mansion. I didn't know he has a mansion, right? Urging protesters to keep causing trouble and fighting ICE. That's terribly advice. That's really bad, actually. That's so bad. That's really bad advice.
Congress, ironically enough, is co-chair with Marco Rubio. We used to bring in Chinese political prisoners, and we would ask them, when we speak up and call out your government, it's bad. And they said, well, in the short run, it's bad because they torture us. But if you don't speak up, they will torture us and forget about us. And the idea is right now is we have to be speaking up. Yeah.
Bro, are you guys, wait, are we hearing the same thing? Are we actually hearing the same thing that this guy's actually saying, right?
It's a mess.
I don't know if you guys are hearing what I'm hearing. I have no idea.
You are doing everything, and our neighbors are doing everything, and I can't stress enough on.
Let me replay this, because. Wait, what? Why am I getting a different video? That's kind of weird. But I want to replay that, so you guys can hear what this guy's actually saying, yo. What? Wait. I'm getting different things from this link now, which is kind of crazy. All right, let me close this. Let me close this and see what he gives me. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's all different clips now, right? It might be on my Instagram. Let me check it out. Let me pull it up. But you see what I'm saying? Oh, no. Wait, oh, here we go. I might have it somewhere here. Oh, no. I think I don't have it in my chat. Oh, here we go. I found it. Haha! So, let's hear what Tim Boy here is saying, bro. Cause Tim Boy is crazy. Let me know something. What if I pulls up you over because your accent will get you. Stop by Ice. Ice, here I am. You can take me and check my status. I'm good, buddy. I have nothing to fear. Fear is not of God. And you only have fear because you know you did something wrong. That's it. Why should I have fear? If it's the will of God, so I get deported, maybe that's what's supposed to happen, right? But look at this. Look at this. Look at this, Billy. I want you to see what's happening here, right? Everyone loves America because everyone is afraid to get deported. If you love a country, why would you not want to give back to that country? Everyone wants to stay in America. They're scared of getting deported. Very scared because they know America is an amazing place to live. It's an amazing place to live. It gives you opportunity that you will never see in other countries. And if people come here legally, they have nothing to fear. They have no. Why God says, I don't give you fear. That's the devil. The devil gives you fear, right? But here, let's go back to our boy Tim here, right? Because Tim is funny to me. Tim is so evil, it's crazy.
Served on the China Commission in Congress, ironically enough, as co-chair with Marco Rubio. We used to bring in Chinese political prisoners, and we would ask them, when we speak up and call out your government, is it bad? And they said, well, in the short run it's bad because they torture us. But if you don't speak up...
Oh, he's talking about China. Oh, China is a different story, bro. Why are you bringing up China compared to the state? I mean, in China, you don't, especially Muslim, they have them at concentration camps and stuff like that because China is a dictatorship. They don't have democracy. It's funny, China doesn't even have democracy. That's the thing about it, right?
They will torture us and forget about us. And the idea is right now.
I see what he's doing now. I see what he's doing.
Have to be speaking up.
Yeah. He's getting you in your imagination to say, listen, China, they torture their people, you know, torture their people. Same thing. Trump is doing the same thing to his people. He's torturing them. I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it's true, but I don't think it's true, right?
You are doing everything, and our neighbors are doing everything. And I can't stress enough on this. We're winning it because we're doing it with Minnesota grit, Minnesota humor, Minnesota decency. Oftentimes talk about this, and I know people are discussing this a lot. I spent a lot of time with John Lewis on nonviolent resistance. The resistance matters. We're not telling people to be silent, but we're not telling people to go out and cause problems. We're going to cause good trouble.
What is considered good trouble? I want to know what is actually good trouble, because trouble is just trouble, man. You're gonna go out there and cause trouble. Trouble will find you, right? I would recommend you stay home. If ICE is doing a raid don't get in their way. If you want to organize your protest, go and organize your protest, but don't do it when ICE is doing a raid. Don't infringe on them so they can't do their job, you know. And look where he's at, behind his mansion gate, all protected, and yet he's sending his, what do they call them, Minnesotans or whatever they call them. He's sending them out to go lose their life, just so he can stay in power, so people can feel good about themselves. Oh, we're doing something good, when really you're really not doing anything good, right? In fact, there's nothing good about you that you're doing, right? But you want to feel good, you want to feel heard, you're looking for attention, only for the thrill of it, right? And he's saying, if anything, this guy is the one instilling fear in you, right? Because he's telling you in China that they torture their victim, torture their people. So he's telling you, listen, now you're in your imagination about what Trump might be doing. You have no proof, but you're like, oh, so you're gonna do the same thing to illegal people you're American that they take that we think are people that are neighbors, that are a friend, but really they came here illegally and they need to check them and figure it out. You're saying they're gonna do that to them? Now the devil tell you, no, I gotta go protest, I gotta go stop ICE, I gotta go do all of these things, not realizing that the fear that you have bring up the fear is actually feelings, and the feelings bring up thoughts and imagination, because he painted a picture in your mind for you, and you listen to the picture that he paint, and now the thoughts and imagination got you acting out. He's not out there on the front lines protesting. He realized that he's behind his gate, and he's sending you out to go do it so you can lose your life, to stop ICE from making your neighborhood safe again. It's kind of a ridiculous thing that I'm seeing here, right? It's kind of crazy. See, I can agree with you, Bill. There's no such thing as good trouble. No such thing, right? So what he's saying is really bad, right? And I can't agree on you with that, right? He's sending you to go put your life on the line for his cause, right? But I want to show you what federal agents are dealing with, right? This is what they're dealing with, bro. This is what they're dealing with. And you think if you pull up with a gun, you're not a threat to them? And there's people on the left saying, listen, if you're going to ICE protests, go there equipped, go there with guns, Makes no sense, because you're putting yourself at risk. That's just not a good idea at all. Listen, I'm not worried about my people, my color. I could care less about people, right? I could care less, because I can't even help them. I can't help them. I can't help them. I can't even help myself. I can't even help myself, bro. Oh Lord, I can't even help myself. How am I gonna help people, right? I can't teach people anything. That's the title of my YouTube, right? I can't teach you anything but point the way. It's up to you to deal with the evil, the hell that's coming out of you. You're the only person. Well, you can't even do it on your own, right? But for communication purposes, right? You're the only person that can do it for yourself. And it's only with the will of God that you can do it. Right? Because the teacher is within. And he will teach you all things. But guess what? No one listened to the teacher. They rather listen to man. They rather listen to man, right? They rather listen to man. You remember in the Bible, God said, listen, I think he was in Roman or whatever, Peter, or is it Peter? What's that guy's name? Paul or whatever his name is? Whatever. He was saying, I'm a little bit sick, man. But he was saying, listen, I forgot what I was going to say now. But I forgot. If I remember, I'll touch on it. But let's hear what this guy has to say.
A Homeland Security agent lost a piece of his finger during protests in Minneapolis today. A DHS spokesperson says rioters attacked the officer before one person bit the officer's finger. Authorities say he is expected to lose that finger. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on X after the incident saying the suspect who allegedly bit the finger off an HSI agent in Minnesota today has been arrested and is in custody. I have directed my federal prosecutors to file charges for this heinous assault on our brave law enforcement officer.
Yo, they're out here taking fingers off, bro. That's kind of wild. If you were, let's say, we don't do if, right? Don't ever do it if, right? Because you never know what you're gonna do in this situation. So I'm not even gonna talk about it. Whatever, right? But this guy's getting his finger bitten off, bro. This is what the ICE agents are dealing with. Crazy people, crazy people, bro. And in this one, right? This one. Oh, we're almost done with the stream. So this one, we got. So
this is what's happening.
Oh, and this is from Asmongo's channel, right? Because I couldn't find the clip anywhere else.
Last night in
Oh, I could have gone to my X, but whatever. I don't have X on my desktop, but whatever. So Asmongo, right? This is. Yeah, you're right. Trust no man, right? Because how can you know the heart of man? You can't. Only God knows it, right? And man's heart is wicked because it's of evil. It's of the devil's nature.
So this is what's happening.
So this is what's happening with ICE agent, bro. They're getting bricks thrown at them too. This is what you're a police officer, you're an ICE agent, and you're out there doing your job, and these are the people you have to deal with. You're gonna look at these people like they're crazy, for sure, right?
Last night in Minnesota. Here we go.
Get back!
I don't know what that was.
They threw a brick to his head.
Calling for help. Federal officers were surrounded by a mob.
Got it?
And you can see this is the Bureau of Prisons, right?
So he's not even part of the ICE agents, right?
Guy isn't even ICE. He doesn't have anything to do with immigration, but because he's a federal officer, he gets sent out there and he has to defend this.
Yep. And I think this is the hotel, right? I think this is the hotel that the ex-commander was staying at, something like that.
Yeah, look at
allegedly.
Literally two guys sitting there.
Then back up. Back up now. Back up.
Yep. Literally just two guys holding down the fort. Man.
Yeah, this is the place because early on the door was closed and they push. Are these fridges? They push them through the glass, bro. It's crazy.
It's like, imagine being put in that position. How the fuck would let this happen in America? Well, where's the police? Where are they? So he got hit in the face with something really heavy, and he's taking his mask off to spit out.
See?
Oh my!
And now he has his shotgun out. You see, you went out there, you caused problem. Even these, maybe, I don't know, journalists, they're IRLing, whatever. Not only did you put yourself in harm's way or in danger, you also put these other people in danger. So how do you have love? You say, "Oh, I love the illegal aliens. Let them stay." Da da da. But yet you're willing to hurt another to show that you have love for these people. You actually have no love, because you hate the federal agent here, government. He's from the Federal Prisoner Bureau, and you think he's an ICE agent. You hate him because you think he's ICE. But yet you love the illegal immigrants that, "Oh, I love my neighbors. I love my neighbors because I feel something for them. I feel compassion for them." That's not love. If anything, that's hate. That's anger that you have. That's judgment that you have, because that judgment is causing you to hurt another person for you to show love, that you have love for another person. Really, there's no love there. Where's the love? Please tell me. You have no love. You're one with evil. The devil is your father. You're going to say, "Oh no, if Jesus would do this." I mean, if Jesus came, these people would be the first one that are throwing bricks and biting off fingers. They'll be the first one to put Jesus in jail, bro. They'll be the first one ready to crucify him, right? Because Jesus is going to tell you, like, respect the law of the land. The law of the land is there to protect you, the citizens, from these crazy cannibalism or whatever back in the day those people were, right? To infringe on the law, on your land, right? These people are doing their job to do that, to protect the land, and you hate them for it. So you would actually be the first one to crucify Jesus on the cross, and yet you say, "Oh, I love God," and yet people will say, "I hate the Jews because the Jews crucify Jesus on the cross." And yet these people that judge the Jews and criticize the Jews will be the same one to put Jesus Christ back on the cross. So who's worse? The one that's doing the action to put Jesus on the cross, or the one that's judging the previous Jews that put Jesus on the cross now? Like, who's worse? There's no difference. There's really no difference, is there now? It's crazy, right? Because it's spiritual. You have to have a way to see these things, and if you're in the dark, how can you see them?
God,
it's ridiculous.
Guy's a fucking tank.
Is everyone pressed?
Give him a medal. Yeah, that's a motherfucking patriot, man.
That's my question for the press. Where is the local TV?
He's right. Yeah,
where's the popo?
Police department. They're out there just totally.
Yeah, they're not gonna have the police help them, because it's not what they want. The governor and the mayor doesn't want that to happen, which makes no sense, right?
Destroying a building. He's there by himself. The St. Paul police turned around to.
But these people that was destroying the building, they should be put in jail. They're destroying private property. And if the city continues like this, let's say city continues like this, they're gonna move their business to somewhere else, and the city will suffer, right?
An anti-ice mob storm a Hilton with agents. What? Guys, there's something wrong. So these people went absolutely apeshit. This is what happened to this hotel building. This was before all of this stuff went down. Right. I do find it to be funny that they only really needed one police officer to keep all of these people out of the building. Just one guy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, all hail the First Amendment. It allows me to break windows when I'm angry. That's right, guys. And so these absolute fucking animals just went totally crazy.
I can't agree with Asmongold. They're animals. They're animals.
And you see, none of this would have happened if they had the police there. None of this would have happened. All of this is completely engineered by the state and by the city. They have caused all of this to happen on purpose because they hope to profit from the chaos. That's the reason.
That's true. Man, I couldn't say it better myself. Wait, where's my thing? Where's my... Because this is gonna get me copyright, bro. Can't have that playing. With sound. Yeah. That's so true. That is so true. It's so we're gonna jump. We got maybe I have some random clips that I may pop in here, right? After President Trump warns of full tariffs on Canada, reported pull out of its China deal, right? So Mark Carney, better pay the mail. Look what this guy did, bro. I don't know. I obviously like. Why is he not giving me the clip? Alright, since it's doing that, let me go directly to my Instagram. Because I have that link. Oh yeah! And I actually want to touch on... I want to touch on the Florida thing too. Yeah, so we have a couple more clips to oh yeah, and that too. We have a couple clips that I want to run through before I finish this up. So, you know, Canada on their turfs, right? So this is what's going down now. This is what's going down. Canada pulls out of China's deal, right? After Trump said if it goes through 100% tariffs, right?
Now, President Trump over the weekend threatening massive tariffs on Canada. The president posting this: if Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the USA. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister Carney now pushing back, saying this on Sunday: we have no intention of doing that with China or any other non-market economy. What we have done with China is to rectify some issues that developed in the last couple of years. So where does this stand? So now President Trump over the weekend threatening massive tariffs on Canada. The president posting this: if Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the USA. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister Carney now pushing back, saying this on Sunday: we have no intention of doing that with China or any other non-market economy. What we have done with China is to rectify some issues that developed in the last couple of years. So where does this stand? So now...
Do you believe this guy? Man, yo, this guy is so weird. I don't know what to think about this guy, bro. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. But for now, we're just gonna leave it where it is, right?
Is there anything you can do to meet the Trump?
Oh. And this was interesting because the press asks, oh man. Tim, right? The press asked him this.
To meet the Trump administration, at least part of the way to try to turn this down.
Well, first of all, it's not a serious attempt, and the Attorney General sent that in. I would thank the local folks and Commissioner Snell. Thank you to you and your team over there. In that letter, they talked about, you need to hand people over who are in your jails. They're taking credit for people that we've had in jail for a long time. We always hand them over, and the commissioner very clearly. So they're lying. They're lying. This has nothing to do with fraud, as the Attorney General said. They're not sending us forensic accountants, and these are things that have been we're dealing with now and have been for quite some time. So look, it's not a serious attempt to get at this. The way to fix this is get these folks out of here. We've continued to work with them. They asked us for these numbers. We provided them. We continue to show, and they're not serious. And look, I think everybody understands what the last request was, totally unrelated to anything on the voter files. This is, again, as the Attorney General said, Donald Trump telling everybody that the election was rigged, who started all this nightmare for America. Has nothing to do with it. And I would just give a pro tip to the Attorney General. There's 2 million documents in the Epstein files we're still waiting on. Go ahead and work on those.
Is there anything?
Buddy's out here worrying about Epstein file while his city's crumbling to the ground. It's kind of crazy. Oh, listen. No. I mean, I already know where that guy stand, bro. And it's not for the citizens of Minnesota. That I can tell you. He's all for the illegal immigrants. Right.
I'm pleased today to announce that Canada and China have reached a preliminary but landmark trade agreement. We have commitments under CUSMA that not to...
Ooh. Excuse me. Ooh, that shouldn't shove down my spine. Ah, people are turning Tim. Let's hear what's happening here.
Well, welcome to the Capitol. It's great that you're all... Sir, you're welcome to come. Let me finish. Let me finish and vote.
Hey, sir, he doesn't have fucking votes, sir. Shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, hey, there's some passion in the building. Well,
is that even real? I don't know, right? No idea. But this is the last few minutes of the show, right? I'm just glazing over some reels that I saw, and I'm like, interesting, right? And if we know this guy, if we know who this guy is, right? He's saying, listen, did he speak or was it just a text?
We always used to think shrinking population is a cause for negative growth. But in my conversations with the leadership of these large developed countries that have xenophobic immigration policies, they don't allow anybody to come in, shrinking unemployment, shrinking demographics, these countries will rapidly develop robotics and AI and technology. And if the promise, I didn't say it's going to happen, but if the promise of all that transforms productivity, which most of us think it will, we'll be able to elevate the standard of living of countries and the standard of living of individuals, even with shrinking populations.
Why? I guess why is that? Because guess what? More jobs for people, more money will be paid to them. It took you guys this long to figure it out. Oh, yeah. Welcome to common sense, buddy. Yeah.
So the paradigm of negative population growth is going to be changing. And the social problems that one will have in substituting humans for machines is going to be far easier in those countries that have declining populations. We always used to think shrinking population is a...
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, okay. I found this comment by Trump. First, I don't know what he meant by poking the bear, right? Maybe because when I was listening to it, I was doing some stuff, right? I was getting ready. I was doing some stuff. So let's just hear what he has to say while I'm sitting and listening to it. And then the leftists. Maybe I'll leave that video for another time. But the last minute of the show, I want to run over some stuff real quick. This is what Trump had to say, right? I know what he meant with the last comment. This, though, maybe I'll figure it out.
I really shouldn't say it, but I think I've got to say it. The far right in our country doesn't exist yet. The far left, the Looney Tune Brigade, however, is quite real. Real as real gets, as serious as cancer. Cancer, not good. But people forget that I'm a moderate. Charlie was a moderate as well. But the psycho left has been poking a sleeping bear with sticks, calling the bear names, stealing the bear's wallet, and have actually begun shooting the bear. But this isn't an ordinary bear.
Oh, so is he talking about the state in general?
Bear, folks. No. No, it's not. This, of course, is what scholars refer to as a metaphor. So, if I were a miserable lefty who hated my dad and thought John Oliver was a real looker, I'd pause here and ask myself, do I want to keep poking this bear, or do I want my face to be ripped off in a horrific bear accident? Really shouldn't.
I mean, he's right when he's saying the leftists, they hate their father or their daddy. They do. And Trump is right on that, right? And I found that interesting that he said that. Because a lot of guys, a lot of females, they hate their father. For reason they don't even know, right? And that's the funny part about it. For reasons they don't even know. They were just told that by someone. I'll let you guys figure that out on your own. Whose hatred they hate people with, right? And we got Steph Curry in the building, right? Steph Curry, a black basketball player, millionaire. He's probably a billionaire. I don't know, but I know he's millions up there, right? And this is what he has to say.
It was definitely that. I just know there's a lot of heavy hearts, and a lot of things, especially this Minneapolis community. Yesterday was rough. It's been rough, I know, out here, and you can kind of feel it when we got here, whatever, 2 days ago. Protests that were going on downtown. It was amazing to watch the turnout and peaceful protests, and the unified voice that was here, and you feel like that would kind of turn the tide, to a more positive direction. And you wake up in the morning and you see what happened. So obviously, there was no need and no place to have a game yesterday, and it's filtered over a little bit to the atmosphere today, like you said, as it should.
Played in tonight.
There's a lot of change that needs to happen, and when you're here and you feel it, I was glued to the TV yesterday when we weren't playing, just watching the coverage and understanding what was going on and trying to really, get knowledgeable about it.
Do you think Steph Curry really cares, bro? You think he really cares about what's happening? Or is he just doing this for the press? A showcase personality? Well, that's what all people show you. Showcase personality. Let you think that they care, so you judge them, think they're a good person. And he can't really probably say what he wants to say because he has to think about the business on the team and money coming in. It's hard to really listen, to really believe what these famous basketball playing actors are saying, bro. Right?
Hopefully, again, the community kind of comes together and the right decisions are made so that there's more of a peaceful, environment here.
Moses mentioned being in his room and physically seeing the protests go through downtown.
I got videos on my phone of it all the way down. It was like 3 straight hours in negative 10-degree weather. It was beautiful to see that turnout, and that speaks to how important people felt to have their voice heard, and those elements, and whatever streets right outside our hotel.
What a beta!
They were out, and it was amazing to watch.
So your day yesterday, were you part of the conversation on if the game should have gone on or not?
I talked to Coach, who was talking to obviously the Wolves organization, Timberwolves organization, and it was very similar to. It's hard to catch up to everything that's going on here in the community when you just fly in and you understand what's going on, but how it affects.
This guy said stick to the script. He doesn't even believe what he's saying.
Players, the staff, the entire franchise, the families, and just supporting them in whatever decision made sense. Obviously talking to the league, so that was pretty much it.
So your day yesterday.
I never thought the greatest shooter of all time would miss like that. And that's why his girl cheats on him. Beta male! I mean, he has a personality to keep up, right? That's what he builds his brand off. So if he goes off script just a little, his people will turn on him. And that's to show you his fans, they don't even love him. They don't even love him. Because he's gonna disagree with his fans, and because he disagree with his fans will turn on him. Where's the love? Where's the love, right? There's no love. There's no love. You're only doing it. You're only conforming to what they want, so you can keep the peace, so you can keep your money, so you can keep your fame, so you can keep the money coming in. I guess it's a business, right? But it shows that nothing. These people ain't real, bro. They ain't real. They ain't real, you know. And that's just what it is. But you people worship and celebrate these people. You celebrate God's creation instead of God himself. You've made man your God, right? But the man himself has made the people his God, because without them he's nothing. He's nothing, right? It's like the mama conforming the little kid into her husband that she never had, right? Never had. So she conformed the kid into that, and the kid has to conform to it because it hates mom, but it doesn't want to disappoint mom, so it conform to what mom wants. Same thing Steph Curry's doing. There's really no difference, right? Beta. Is that it? Hold on. I got a cheating video popping up here. All right.
Okay. With a college freshman and with a junior is insane.
TJ.
Are we serious?
Send some shit like that and I'll send some shit to your mom. You don't want
Okay,
shit.
then I'll send shit to your parents. I'll send this to your parents too.
Okay.
Oh.
With a college freshman and with a junior is insane.
TJ.
Wait, was Buddy pulling his pants up or something? Okay. Oh no, his foot was around her.
With a college freshman and with a junior is insane.
TJ.
Are we serious?
Send some shit like that and I'll send some shit to your mom. You don't want
Okay,
shit.
then I'll send shit to your parents. I'll send this to your parents too.
I mean, I think they love it at this point, right? They love it at this point. They both love the toxic, the evil, toxic, but they say toxic, but it's evil. They love their hell, right? Okay, she's cheating on him. She judged him. He's weak. And yet she's with another weak guy. It's like the cycle never stops, right? Oh, Lord. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. They know not what they do. Right? Oh, you know, let's finish it off with this. Let's finish it off with this.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't call them undocumented immigrants. I call them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. The reason they're not documented is they're not legal. Okay, they're illegal immigrants. 74% of the illegal immigrants that we've detained have had criminal charges against them. Okay, the other 26% were riding with them. Okay, so when we stop a car, we run a warrants check on everybody in the car. When there's a call for service, we run a warrants check on the victim, the suspect, and all the witnesses, okay? We call that 26% collateral. But 3 out of 4 of them have committed another criminal charge.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
Now think about that for a second. They couldn't commit that crime if they weren't here, but they did. So now you're having to take your taxpayer money and my taxpayer money and pay for the prosecution of those folks, pay for the public defender that defends them, pay for the jail and the prison sentence.
We ain't paying for no jail. Send them back so we don't have to use the tax dollars on them, bro. That's crazy.
You know, on what the charges are. So
it's bad enough that you're paying for the prosecutor and the whole system to process this. It's ridiculous.
And the majority of the 26% that was left
out of the 74% of them had criminal charges. They were what we call collaterals, and most of them were with the person committing the crime. And that's the numbers that we have so far. And those, so how many illegal immigrants have we arrested this year? We've arrested 557 that have criminal charges as well as they're here illegally. That's just this year. Now but here's the thing that, and let me focus on this, and I know on social media people have already tuned out, but you need to tune back in and listen to this. The reason that you see ICE flooding into Minnesota and Minneapolis and into Los Angeles, into these big cities, is because they refuse to turn over the illegal immigrants who are being arrested by the local police department where there's outstanding ICE warrants. If they would have simply, instead of fighting back and pushing back against the federal government, instead of violating the federal law, which is what these leaders have done there, if they just said, look, ICE, we don't want our police actively engaged in ICE enforcement, but you can come in our jails, and as we make arrests, but here's the thing, you can go through your evaluation process and remove those criminals that are committing crime against the citizens of the United States and against each other. You can remove them. Then they wouldn't be flooding these big blue areas with all of these ICE agents. So it's the policy and the laws that the California and the Illinois and the Minnesota and the Oregons and the Portlands and the city, it's the laws that they've passed that's created the environment for ICE to have to go in there and do it all on their own. And it puts the ICE agents at additional risk. The local law enforcement officers have already taken the risk to arrest these people. They're in custody. They're locked up. They're in a county lockup or a city lockup.
And those are the ones that police caught, allegedly, right? And these people, because no bail bond, none of that, they get released the next day, which is crazy, right?
Lock up someplace. You can go through your evaluation or a state lockup for their causes. But yet they're telling the city, the county, or the state prison system, turn these illegals that have committed crime back out into the community on our people.
Makes no sense.
And so if ICE can't get help from the state and the local folks, then they have to send more resources in order to do the job. All of this could have been avoided. All of this could have been. You don't see that happening in Florida. You don't see ICE sending 1,000 people down here to go into Miami or Jacksonville or Tampa or Orlando or our big metro areas. You don't see that. You know why? Because we're cooperating. And this same environment could be in every one of those states if the state had cooperated, or a state lockup for their causes. But yet they're telling the city, the county, or the state prison system, turn these illegals that have committed crime back out into the community on our people. But instead, you've elected a bunch of people there, governors, primarily, House and Senate members, mayors, city commissioners, county commissioners, that said, hey, we're going to let these criminals that are here illegally committing crime against the people of the state of California or Minnesota or wherever, we're going to allow them to come back out into the community and commit more crime against you rather than turn them over to our federal partners. That's why you're seeing all this scrum all over the nation.
Amazing.
If they were cooperating like Florida was cooperating, there would not be the protest, there would not be the conflict, people wouldn't be angry, they wouldn't be going to businesses. But instead, you've elected because they would be caught up like they are in Florida when they're committing crime and we turn them over to ICE. They're already caught and they're out of the country. That's why you're seeing this.
Amazing.
It's created by the law and the practice and the policy of the elected officials at the state level, the county level, and the city level, telling them to oppose federal law. Now, why in the world you want those people in those positions that think it's all right to oppose the law, that think more...
Sounds like the voters, there's nothing good about them, right?
Or the criminals than they do the suspects. I don't know. That's why we call this the free state of Florida, because we're for the people.
Nice.
They're for the criminals.
Nice. I couldn't say it better myself. This guy has it packed down to the ground. You touch pretty much on everything, right? And he makes sense. The people put who they want. They vote for who they want, and they get what they want. They wanted a leader. They wanted a governor. And a leftist one too, that will destroy them. So the people vote for their own destruction. Isn't that amazing? Because there's nothing good about the people that vote. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't vote in people that are going to go against the law and go against their well-being to do this to them, right? So shout out, man, shout out. And that's the end of our stream today. Thank you guys for sticking around. I enjoy this stream, and we'll see you again in the next one, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, right? Peace in the Middle East, or if not, at least in your hearts. But that a lot of people don't want it, so bye.
Thank you.